Moonlight and Milk. The sapphire gala was a sea of velvet and diamonds, but Ren saw only one thing: Haru. Haru moved through the crowd with a quiet, ethereal grace that seemed out of place among the predatory elite. Ren, a man whose name was whispered in boardroom halls with fear, felt a sudden, sharp fracture in his composure. He didn't just want to meet the young man. He felt an immediate, crushing need to possess the light Haru radiated. When their eyes locked, the air between them hummed with an intensity that neither could ignore. The night that followed was a blur of silver moonlight and whispered promises. In the silence of Ren's sprawling penthouse, the world's expectations vanished. Haru found himself drawn into Ren's gravity, experiencing a depth of passion he hadn't known existed. But the dawn brought cold reality. A crisis in Ren's global empire demanded his immediate departure for London. As Ren looked at the sleeping Haru, his heart felt heavy with a possessive dread. He couldn't stay, but he refused to let Haru go unprotected. Standing on the rain-slicked tarmac of the private airfield, Ren clutched his phone like a weapon. He called the only man he trusted with such a delicate, dark task. "Kaito," Ren growled, his voice vibrating with authority. "He is in the apartment on 5th. You are to move into the adjacent unit today. Monitor everything: what he eats, who he speaks to, how long he sleeps. If a single hair on his head is harmed, you will answer to me." Ren boarded his jet, his mind already calculating his return. Weeks passed, and Haru's life was quietly infiltrated by a new neighbor named Kaito. Kaito was tall, athletic, and possessed a calm, reassuring smile. He always seemed to be in the hallway when Haru was carrying heavy bags or looking particularly tired. Haru appreciated the company, unaware that the friendly man was a highly trained operative, reporting his every move to a man thousands of miles away. Haru felt a strange, growing fatigue, his body feeling heavier with every passing day. Haru's health began to fluctuate. Some days he felt a strange, humming energy. Other days, a profound nausea would grip him. Kaito was always there, appearing with ginger tea or a steadying arm. He watched Haru with a hidden concern that went beyond his orders. He saw how Haru would sit by the window, looking out at the city with a lonely, searching expression, and he knew the young man was thinking of the businessman who had vanished into the night. The crisis came on a Tuesday afternoon. Haru was walking through the park with Kaito when the world suddenly spun into a blur of green and gray. His breath caught in his throat, and his legs turned to water. Before he could hit the grass, Kaito's hand was there, catching him with practiced ease. The friendly neighbor vanished, replaced by a man of action who scooped Haru up and sprinted toward the car, his heart hammering against his ribs for the first time in years. The hospital room was sterile and bright. Haru woke to the steady beep of a monitor and Kaito sitting silently in the corner. A doctor entered, holding a clipboard with a puzzled look. "The tests are back, Haru," the doctor said softly. "The fainting and nausea, it's because you're pregnant. It's rare, but it's happening." Haru's hand flew to his stomach, his mind racing back to that moonlit night. In the corner, Kaito's phone glowed as he sent a single urgent word across the ocean. "Now." That night, the door to Haru's dark apartment clicked open. Ren moved through the shadows like a panther returning to its den. He had crossed oceans in hours, his mind a storm of obsession and protective fury. He reached the bedroom where Haru lay in a deep, medicated sleep. Ren stood over him, his chest heaving. The news of the child had shattered his remaining restraint. He was no longer just a lover. He was a guardian, a father, and a man who would burn the world to keep this room safe. Ren didn't leave when the sun rose. He stayed, hidden in the corners of the vast apartment. He watched Haru wake, saw his confusion, and watched Kaito bring him breakfast. Ren lived in the silence, listening to Haru's heartbeat from the next room. He was obsessed with the life growing inside Haru, seeing it as the ultimate bond that would tie them together forever. He began to plan a life of gilded cages and absolute devotion, his love a beautiful, heavy chain. Ren began a secret ritual to care for his little bird. Every night, while Haru slept, Ren would emerge from the shadows. He entered the kitchen, his movements silent and precise. He prepared a glass of warm milk, stirring in expensive, tasteless supplements and vitamins prescribed for the pregnancy. He handled the glass with a reverence that was almost religious, ensuring the temperature was exactly body warm. This was his secret communion, his way of providing when he wasn't yet ready to be seen. Ren would then carry the milk to the bedside. He would sit on the edge of the mattress, the wood never creaking under his weight. Gently, he would lift Haru's head, whispering low, soothing words that sounded like the wind. Haru, lost in the fog of sleep, would instinctively part his lips. Ren would hold the glass, watching with a fierce, adoring gaze as Haru drank the nourishment he had prepared. To Haru, it felt like a dream of being loved. To Ren, it was the only way he knew how to be gentle. The secret was broken by the morning light. Exhaustion had finally claimed Ren, and he had fallen asleep with his head resting on the edge of Haru's bed. When Haru opened his eyes, he didn't see the ceiling or Kaito. He saw the sharp, handsome profile of the man who had haunted his thoughts for months. He saw Ren's hand still resting near his own, the fingers twitching in sleep. Haru's heart hammered against his ribs, not with fear, but with a sudden, overwhelming realization. Ren bolted awake the moment Haru moved. His eyes snapped open, the cold, powerful businessman returning in an instant. He stood up, his height matching Haru's as they faced each other. The air was thick with the weight of everything unsaid. "I couldn't leave you," Ren confessed, his voice a low, raw rasp. "I watched you through Kaito. I fed you every night, because I couldn't trust the world to give you what you needed. I am a monster of my own making, Haru, but I am yours." Haru reached out, his long fingers trembling as he touched Ren's jaw. He thought of the milk, the feeling of being watched over, and the strange comfort he had felt even when he was alone. He saw the obsession in Ren's eyes, but he also saw the man who had crossed the world for him. "It was you," Haru whispered, a small, genuine smile breaking through his tears. "The glass of milk, the whispers. You were never really gone." He didn't pull away. Instead, he leaned his forehead against Ren's, accepting the intensity of the bond. Their relationship was a new world, built on the ruins of secrets. Ren didn't stop being powerful or protective, but he learned to share the light instead of just trying to capture it. They stood together on the balcony of the penthouse, the city lights shimmering below like the gala where they first met. As the moon rose, Ren handed Haru a glass of milk, no longer a secret ritual but a promise. They were no longer two strangers in the dark, but a family waiting for the sun to rise on a new life.